What's up, y'all? Hey, everybody.
What
Welcome to Fresh
up?
Good evening,
Friday.
everyone. Hi,
Family.
Hey, as you can see, we have guests today, so we're trying to behave ourselves. Trying, but Kevin was starting in the background already. So,
I'm just gonna go mute.
welcome to Fresh Friday. Our discussion time for our millennial group and Gen Z. Now, I am not. You know what? I just learned something today. No, I did not create this. This is something somebody posted this like a
Here we
newspaper
go.
or something like that. No, seriously, this is not. I'm an Xennial. I was raised by Gen X and older. I was born in 1981, so I'm a mixture of the two. But
Oh, I've actually heard that before.
you heard? Thank you. Of course you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, smart. But they're saying that anybody born between 81 and 86 is called a geriatric millennial.
What is that supposed to mean?
Because we're on the older side.
Wow.
Really made it out.
We're considered geriatric.
All right. I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Thank you. But you know what? That's good because a lot of us older millennials don't really identify with the younger group. So sorry, y'all. We still love you though.
We're kind of used to it now.
I know.
So,
What's up,
Hey,
Ava?
Keith.
Hey, Keith. Y'all come on and share. We're going to have a great conversation this evening. Like I said, we have two guests here. I'll let them introduce themselves. They are from the Church on the Living Edge. And Pastor Darius, we'll start with you. Tell us who you are and, that good stuff.
I'm Pastor Darius. I'm the youth pastor and worship leader at Church on the Living Edge. Been on staff there for about 3 years, but I've known the COTLE family, Pastor Mario, the bishop for many, many, many years. So, but yeah, it is really awesome. Me and my wife, we both pastor the youth together, and we rocking and rolling there. So we love it. We love the next gen department.
Yeah. Run praise and worship too, y'all. He can sing. He being modest.
Okay. Multi-talented.
You on the album?
I am on the last album. I was holding down tenor real strong.
Yo, and they can sing. And I'm not talking, not even just voices wise. I'm talking about they got the Holy Ghost for real. Bishop was like, the first time with the Issachar, he said, watch when you walk in, you're going to feel something in the room. They was in there singing. I was like, yo, these folk are saved for real. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right.
You done, Darius? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
I'm done. You go right ahead.
No, it's good to be back with you, Pastor Nick, and everybody tonight. I get the opportunity to lead the Next Gen department at Church on Living Edge with Bishop Sharona. Then also do the media and whatever else I can get my hands on. And I guess, like Pastor Nick said, I always knew I was an older millennial, but now I can add, I guess, that title to the rest of them.
We're geriatric.
So glad to be here and looking forward to the good time and conversation.
Yeah, and you guys follow him on YouTube and all that. He has a leadership seminary, right?
Yeah, just launched today.
Yeah, just launched today. Watch the first video today. It was really good.
Thank you.
Go back and watch it. Subscribe to his YouTube page. Help him out. Give him your YouTube page.
Yeah, so on YouTube, it's just youtube.com/Mario Hood. And then everything on there will be about leadership and theology and understanding how those work together. So kind of bringing the heights of our faith down to the practical everyday living. And so, yeah, first video launched today. Going to be doing some interviews with different leaders and pastors and academics and all that good stuff. So would love for you to subscribe and hit the like button, as they say.
Yeah. And we put the link to the channel in the chat. So it's right in the chat. You can click on it and you can subscribe, help a brother out.
Yeah.
All right. We're just so glad Church of the Living Edge and Bethany, our bishops know each other very well. They're friends, preach for each other. It's a constant mix, and we're glad that we're able to integrate both families together, because at the end of the day, we're all family. So we're glad they're here. Y'all please share if you can. And what's up, Kevin English? Now we're I'm trying to behave. Why, Kevin, why are you looking like that? I'm trying to behave.
I'm just saying, I'm just here. I'm just here.
I know you.
Brewski.
Uh-oh.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Am I?
I said, just let him be great.
You came in just to say that? You better stay on this whole entire time.
I'm going to stay on the whole time.
Good. Praise the Lord.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. I just left the barbershop.
Oh, and the other Kevin.
We had to read that out loud. You know, Kevin squared. We're going to leave him in the
Right. Maya, put the what do you want to pick? Which one? Whichever you want to do. Put it up first. We'll have some fun first, then we'll get into our conversation. We're going to have some comedy. All right, so listen. You only got one place to go to for the rest of your life.
We should get Kevin J out the way, because we already know his answer.
It's going to be Chick-fil-A.
Really? Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm asking.
It's like, no, it is.
It is absolutely Chick-fil-A.
It's because it's the only. You can never go out to eat anywhere else except this one place for the rest of your life. And we like to have fun. And I want to, when we answer, Maya, I want you to take this down, especially for you, because I want to see your face. I want to see everybody's face when you pick yours.
Nah, don't be peeking.
First off, Starbucks is overrated. No, put it back up because people can see it. Starbucks is overrated.
You gonna let people guess, or you gonna just?
No. Just
There's
so
no
y'all.
Starbucks even up there. That's not even. That's just like a grand.
They have food though.
They have food at Starbucks.
Starbucks has food. Yeah.
It's not good.
So I don't go there.
Why are you peeking around the corner?
I had to figure out what second to go to for a second. I had to figure out, this side. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, it's not good.
So Subway's trash. Starbucks is
Yes.
good. Their coffee's overrated to me. Wawa's better. Yo,
So we all agree that Chick-fil-A stays.
No.
I'm not saying that.
But wait a minute. Bojangles, the
Yes,
biscuits.
sir.
Woo!
Yes,
Them biscuits
sir.
at Bojangles, man.
Yes, sir.
God
If
have
you
mercy.
have to eat fast food, then I would go Chick-fil-A.
I haven't tried a bunch of these places, so I don't even know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What
I've
even
never
is
had
Arby's?
In-N-Out.
Like,
Mine is Arby's. Yeah.
It's in the long side, y'all.
Maya, you can take it down.
We know where it's at, but why is it up there?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Why is it on the screen right now?
What? Like, what even is that?
Ava said,
I'm
I'll
with
eat at
Ava.
home.
I'm eating at home.
Yeah.
Same girl.
Hey, Steph.
So Desiree, you said you go with Chick-fil-A, right?
If I have to, I'm having Chick-fil-A.
It's not if you have to. You're going.
No, okay,
Oh.
Kevin. Yeah.
Dag, yo.
You see that, right? Aggressive.
Yeah, y'all aggressive. Jeez.
Okay, Ike Turner.
Wow.
Wow.
Did we take it there? That was
Wow, that was
0 to 100.
Whoa!
I'm sorry, it was a bunch of inside jokes. So, Pastor Darius, what you got?
I'm between Chick-fil-A and Chipotle. Now I do.
There's one.
High five, Darius.
One.
Yes,
One.
yes, that's
Oh,
Darius.
One.
Yes,
I'll go with Chipotle because you can mix it up. You know, if you want to get a
There you go.
yes.
There you go.
and if you want to be kind of more fat, but if you want to be healthy, get salad. If you want to, you know, Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A is holy, but you can get steak and chicken and you can swap it up.
But Chick-fil-A has really good salads, though.
They do. They
They
really
do.
do.
Yeah.
It's a little dry for me. It's a little dry.
I will say,
You have the Southwest salad?
you have to, when you get the salad, you do have to get 2 dressings. But did you see that they are only letting you get 2 dressings now? They are not doing nothing extra. So I will agree with you on that. But I see there's
You are the
wisdom
spokesman.
tonight.
Okay, Chick-fil-A
Hold on.
connoisseur.
Pause there. What
We
are
got to get you
saying your-
sponsored, Kevin.
Your salad is
I know
dry.
I'm not.
What do you mean by that?
Sometimes they're dry. You know, the salads can be dry sometimes.
Because it doesn't have enough dressing?
Yeah.
You're supposed to have salad, not dressing. Like, what do you?
But the salad,
It's a balance.
it's like it got sat out on the table too long. you know, it just feels a little.
That's-
Oh, like the lettuce is dry.
Oh,
okay. Because I'm
Yeah, I
thinking
got
like
you.
you're just like putting a ton of dressing on your salad. I'm like,
no,
that's
no.
not a salad anymore.
I mean, like, so you like forced to put a whole bunch of dressing on there because like, I don't
The
want
lettuce
to.
is
Because the
dried
leaves
out.
will wither away. I got you.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah, they could.
I don't go to Chick-fil-A. I don't go to Chick-fil-A for salad though. I don't understand.
Me neither.
I'm with you on
I had
that.
Chick-fil-A salad.
Maya already told us she doesn't like Chick-fil-A fries like that, so we just
That
You know
doesn't mean
what?
that wouldn't be my choice.
thank you, Pastor Darius, thank you.
Can you move me up
Why
top,
do you keep
Pastor Nick?
asking Maya about
Can you
Pastor Nick,
move
can you move me
Have
up
we
top,
not
Pastor
learned
Nick?
our
Oh
lesson?
my God.
Can you move me up top?
I like their fries. They're
Move me
just
up
not
top,
my
Pastor Nick.
favorite. Goodness.
But I won't hold you. PDQ's French fries are better than Chick-fil-A's though.
Yes, they are.
I will give them that. I will give them that.
I've had
They came
PDQ
up.
probably once.
Doc.
Twice.
Okay.
Go get them.
Okay.
Anyway, Pastor Mario, what you got?
I mean, I got a lot to say. I mean, you just said that PDQ fries are better than Chick-fil-A.
I was shocked. Me and my children go there every Saturday, get some French fries. Something they did, the one I go to, they tweaked the way they made them,
Yeah, that's
and
what,
them
that
things
might be.
are good.
Where you going? New Jersey, you Philly? That must be something up north. Today is not good. Like
Really?
that down here. No. I mean, I love PDQ because I love chicken. Hello, I'm black. But
Yeah.
their fries is not on the same level. I mean, my first choice is probably Chick-fil-A. I'm not gonna lie. For all the reasons that's been said, you can get fried chicken, you can get grilled chicken, you can get chicken on salad, you can get chicken without bread, you can get chicken nuggets, you can get them in the morning, you can get them at night.
Keep going. Yes.
You know, you got,
Right.
and then we ain't gonna talk about the sauces that come with it,
Polynesian, yes.
right?
Chick-fil-A
So
sauce is bomb.
that's like the anointing on top of it.
You look, Pastor Nick even get ready. He had to take the jacket off. He wants to
Uh-huh.
right now.
I'm just hot. That's all.
So, but I mean, Pastor Darius, she was spitting some good knowledge on that Chipotle, and I can confirm that he likes Chipotle because every Tuesday, Chipotle.
That's like
one right by
Kevin
the
with
church.
Chick-fil-A.
But
Every Friday is
yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
Every
me-
Monday is Chick-fil-A.
For me, it's Chick-fil-A. For me, it's Chick-fil-A.
Gee, so we got Jody. What you got? So we got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Chick-fil-A, but I feel like it's unfair because I didn't try some of them, like El Poco. I don't even.
I
know
think
what
that's
that
more
was.
was.
that's more a West Coast thing. I think, or down
Okay.
somewhere in Texas,
Yeah.
maybe.
In-N-Out is overrated.
Yeah,
Really?
I haven't
Yeah.
had
it is.
Never had it. So I
Never
don't
had
know.
it either.
It's overrated.
Yeah.
It is.
I was quite disappointed.
All right. Well, guess I'm not going there.
Antoine, what you got?
I want to Chipotle. I want to go with Chipotle. I want to go with Chipotle.
I would just slap with that.
Maya, go and pick your McDonald's and call it a day. Come on.
Ooh.
Chick-fil-A. Thank you.
My girl.
With what? How?
I like Chick-fil-A. The French fries aren't my favorite, but I do like Chick-fil-A. Other than those,
You
Other
get the mac and
places there.
cheese. You get the mac and cheese.
mac and cheese is bomb. I love the mac and cheese.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
good.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not like it's not.
It's
homemade.
not home, but
It's not homemade.
What do you like,
gonna buy it
McDonald's
somewhere
fries?
else. I like Wendy's fries.
Can she buy?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fries over
You
chicken
got folks
Yes.
that just met you.
The
today
Chick-fil-A
the
fries go
same
bad
way.
too
Thank you.
fast. And they're
Maya,
too
how did
thick.
you get
Any fry goes
disrespected
bad
by
too
people
fast.
just-
Let them get cold.
You
Thank
got
you.
No.
disrespected by company, Maya.
Whatever.
You eating cold fries, they ain't good nowhere you go.
Oh my goodness.
Right, thank you. Wendy's fries are average at best.
Yeah.
Mm,
They're average
mm,
at
mm,
best.
Why are we on Checkers fries though? Just
But
that.
Checkers fries, they are good. They are good.
Where is there Checkers at around here now?
They be closed.
They're
They're closed.
closing.
They're closing everywhere, yeah. Because their
For a
food's not that
reason.
good, but their fries are good.
Mm.
I am going with Chipotle. Only reason why is because if I go to Chick-fil-A, I always get the same thing: the number one and a milkshake or a frosted coffee. That's the number one, but I can't eat gluten free. I can't eat gluten like that, so I can't go there and get the sandwich anymore. So Chipotle
You got hidden secrets.
I got secrets. Chipotle, I could either go there and get a salad bowl, a regular bowl, and now the quesadilla or a burrito. Oh, heck yeah. I am picking Chipotle every single time.
But can we be honest? The burrito turns into a bowl, so you might as well just get a bowl.
But that's the pleasure of it. It's a bowl of bread.
Two things.
Hello, come on. It's a bowl with bread. And that quesadilla is good. Their quesadillas are fire at Chipotle.
Two things. There's disrespect happening in the comments. Kiki said that you warm
up the fries.
No,
Microwave.
Once they're done, they're
Sir,
done.
I need
once they're done, they're done. That's why like the fries are the first thing that I eat. Kevin, you see that?
Kevin, come on to the Chipotle family and just try it. Trust me, it will change your life.
Chipotle is good. Chipotle is good. I gotta give it to it.
Nah, I will go to Chipotle and tear some stuff up. Go ahead, Pastor.
Have you tried the Chipotle salad dressing on top of your bowl?
Wisdom is here tonight.
That's the
I'm
one.
just trying to testify.
Oh
In the land of living.
gosh. That salad dressing is ooh.
Yeah, you got to make sure you ask for it when you get to the register. Can I get a little?
Is it just me or you hate when they give you the lid?
It was like, you don't want to
I didn't spend $9 on this bowl. Give me something worth, eating. Jesus.
Exactly. I want the sauce. I like saucy food.
Lord have mercy. Y'all are foodies. We've literally been talking about food for like 11 minutes. This is just,
Really?
but it's normal for us. Let's just get to this topic so we can get done by 8 o'clock. I got to finish my paper tonight. So listen.
Same.
Right. We have Dr. Hood and Pastor Darius on because we're going to pick up where we left off at last time. We started last time. We had the intention of talking about one thing, and it turned into talking about how the church taught on sex for years and how it wasn't the best. We're talking about like a general overall assessment. How looking back on the purity movement that was big in the 90s and the early 2000s really didn't achieve its results, I believe, a lot from how it was taught. And you can watch the whole discussion. So we wanted to converse about, if I can go academic real quick, as St. Vincent of Lawrence teaches us about not saying new things, but saying, basically, I'm paraphrasing, old things in a new way.
Yeah.
All right? We're not changing our beliefs. We're just upgrading our language to fit a culture as it relates to relevance.
Mm-hmm.
And what ways can we converse with millennials, Gen Z? Do they have a name for the group after Gen Z, or they just do the unknown?
It's Gen Alpha right now, but
Gen Alpha?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll change.
Okay, and how when is Gen Z in? That's like high school now?
Yeah, seniors, maybe, I think it's, put me on the spot. So 2000, 2001 to 2018, 19. Maybe the lowest is like 1998-ish.
Okay.
So whatever those people are in.
Okay, cool. So that's why I was telling y'all we have Dr. Hood here. He just got his doctorate from Portland Seminary. He actually is the next gen pastor there and does all this stuff. Pastor Darius does the youth. So we wanted to bring in some individuals to help us have this discussion. Yeah. And I'll throw it out. I'll throw this first topic out here and I'll see where it goes. I was thinking about this earlier. It seems like this generation desires more transparency from their leadership. Where it's like, cool, you can give me the answer, but I want to know, do you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that, because in years past, not every pastor, not everywhere, in years past, the stoic leader that never looked like they ever had any problems, never had any troubles, they were always winning, always doing good. It kind of created a false image, right? And it almost felt like a goal that wasn't attainable. And I think that a leader we shouldn't bear all of our issues, but we should show the world that we have humanity, if I can say it like that. Yeah. That we are human, that, people get on our nerves too. Now, if y'all members of Church of Living Edge and our church, we understand our bishops are very transparent about things, Yeah. But not a lot of people are in that dynamic. So I would love to throw that out there. What do you guys think about the transparency model? Because I think some of the millennial pastors now are a little bit too transparent. They're showing a little too much. compared to the old school, which show nothing. There's got to be the middle ground. So I'll just throw it out there and let y'all go ahead and talk.
Well, I was going to say, I remember Mark Sharona, ironically, Dr. Mark Sharona preached a message, see me, hear me, feel me.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Jesus approached when he was doing ministry. And that is pretty much what we want. Like, we don't want somebody to be sitting above us, do this, do that, do that, do this, do this. Like, you got to give us something that we can attach to, because a good leader wants to be followed as well as their leading. So we want to follow your lead in what you're doing, especially like, for instance, with Pastor Nick. When Pastor Nick throws out, hey, I'm doing this budget challenge, you got people out the wazoo following you because they know this is what you're going to do and you're going to stick to it. And this is just practical things. So, and then you show us ways of doing it. Okay, do this, do this, do this. So that you could, because we know that you want us to be financially stable. That's just a practical way besides the actual topic. But that transparency is key, because that's where the growth is. That's where the spotlight is to say, okay, he is human, because as you said, they look at pastors as stoic heroes. Like, he's the top dude. And they forget that you're human, which is why when a pastor falls, it's like, oh, I can't believe he did that, because you forget that person is still human.
So that transparency piece, I would love for somebody else to chime in. Pastor Dr. Hood, Pastor Darius, I would love for y'all to chime in, just however you feel. And we're very honest on this, so just throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree 100% with what was just said. There's so much going through my head, but somebody put it in the comments. Like, if you look at history, you can see that a lot of times in the church, especially, but even in culture, what one generation does in an extreme, the other generation goes to the opposite. And because, or usually it skips maybe a generation, or half of the generation, and then what was closed off becomes super open to the next one. So it could be good, it could be bad, and then you find, what we have here is that, especially, I mean, Gen Z and younger millennials, younger millennials, it's they just want truth, right? And a lot of times, the older generation, when they think about truth, it's not that they couldn't be transparent, it's that they were taught not to be transparent, and that's how truth came to them. And so what they were taught, they made it, it's kind of, when you look at the Bible, right, God gave 10 commandments, and Old Testament shows us that to protect those 10 commandments, they created 666 other commandments. And because they didn't want to break the 10, then they create more to keep you from the 10. And then as the years go, they don't even remember the 10. Now they just do 366. And so I think that, even with my kids, my son's walking around over there, I was having a talk with him the other day, and it's like, hey, I love your generation, and that you're so open and you're so caring and you don't judge people automatically. But at the same time, you got to know what your core convictions are, because you can't be moved by what everybody else says. And so I agree 100% with you, Pastor Nick, that you have a lot of younger pastors that, because it's cool in our world to be open, don't understand that the calling and the responsibility as a leader means that you can be open, but don't be so open that you're causing other people to stumble because they're following your lead, as was just said.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I remember, like, growing up old school holiness church, that model, it never looked like there was any type of struggle. So even when you're growing up trying to figure out your relationship with God and trying to understand, when hearing live holiness or hell, and there's that, you're trying to quote unquote be right and do right, but there wasn't any transparency or any the practical teaching of how to work through your humanity. One, because you never saw it, you know, so it seemed like it was this far-fetched thing. And I remember when I was in college, there was a number of pastors and very platform leaders that were going through public just drama. It was like left and right. And I remember thinking like, do I really want to get involved with ministry at this point? Because it was a shock. You're looking up to these leaders and these pastors, and then they're perfect, and they're, you know, they got the money, they got the platform, the fame, they're people getting healed, people falling out, and you're seeing all of this, but there really wasn't any transparency of this is how you really walk out this journey. This is how you really, in the words of Bishop Sharona, slow down to the speed of revelation, slow it down. And this is how you build your relationship with Christ. So seeing that model growing up, but then again, like we're saying, like we have a lot of millennial or the current leaders who are too open, or they're trying to be too cool, or there's some leaders I have the question, like, you're trying too hard more than, you know, having that balance, like Dr. Mario was saying, like you have to have that balance. But I do see just the importance of leadership, being able to show that that there is struggle in your journey with Christ, and that it's not this perfect, I have arrived reality TV show relationship where it looks perfect and your life is perfect and your marriage is perfect and your money's perfect, and we all know that is a lie. But I think that is the model that this current generation, they long for, is that you can have a relationship with God while you're figuring out and processing your humanity in the 5,000 layers of that comes with that. But yeah, that's what I really do feel like this generation, like you're saying, they want the balance. They want it, and we have to. I feel like it is our responsibility to present just like the journey for them, and not the formula, but the journey.
Yeah.
The beauty is in the struggle.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Paul really shows that a lot, with the whole thorn piece.
Yeah.
Without the thorn being taken away, the beauty is in that battle between this thorn and God's grace helping me do what I got to do. You know, and he never told us what the thorn was. We just know it was a messenger of Satan, but we know he had the struggle. But that was the reason for the grace. Because I tell people all the time, look, we're not perfect. You better look to Jesus. You know, our kids get in trouble. Our marriages struggle. You know, we get broke sometimes. You know, things happen along the way. And I think in that struggle, God keeps us humble if we allow him to reach people. I remember one time one of our members, very faithful, passed away years ago. And you could feel the tension in the room, like, you know, God, why this person? And Bishop got up, he's crazy, y'all. He got up and said, I wonder why God did this. Because he's like, I know about 10 or 15 other people that if God took them, I would not be that upset. And everybody was like, oh, because it's a real feeling, like this person is good. Why did they die? And you see all these bad people and they're still living.
Yeah.
But that moment of transparency, you know, brought down some angst and allowed people to connect with their feelings, because salvation does not disconnect you from your feelings.
No.
Go ahead, Kevin. You got something to say, because you had a look on your face. I'll mute yourself.
No, I was going to say that I think our generation, and just with everyone has already stated, I think because we live in a time where you have social media, everyone's business is on social media. You have reality TV, you see everyone's business on reality TV. So it's like they already associate that, like, oh, they're telling their whole life. But when we know there's another story behind all that, right? So then I think people our age, we see that on social media, we see that on TV. So we're like, okay, we look towards our leadership, like, well, why can't you be transparent? But like you said, like Ava said in the comments, there's two extremes. Like, you want transparency, but you really don't. But you just got to remember, I think what people and this is how I always look at it is, you know, I love Bishop, I love Pastor Nick, but at the end of the day, they are also humans. I don't idolize, like I can't look at them like they can't go through things. I think people in our generation idolize people too much, where they're like, oh, they're perfect, like nothing happens to them, like they can't go through something, like they can't struggle. So I think that's where people have to get out their heads, like you can't idolize, because like when it comes to celebrities as well, like I have certain celebrities that I like, but I will never be like, oh my gosh, I live for them. I want to do. No, because at the end of the day, they're still human beings. So I feel like our generation idolizes people a lot and gives them a bigger platform than what they have and more power than what they have.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, by you guys being able to share that you are human, that opens up the door for us to feel more comfortable and to talk to you about what our challenges are. Whereas if we're looking at you as idols, we're too busy like idolizing you and not not feeling able to be humble ourselves to come and talk to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think
what you laughing at?
Despite
I said what I had to say.
all right, go ahead, Jody. Sorry, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
Kevin touched on some of the things that I was gonna say, but I think all of the onus is not on the leaders themselves. I think as a body, we need to understand that we are taking this journey together. So there is a calling on leadership's life to be leaders, but still we're walking along the path. It just might be, you know, doing something different along the path. But yeah, Kevin touched on a lot of it, is that we idolize leadership. We idolize people in positions of quote unquote power to the point where we forget that they are like us. And that sounds very cliche, but it's so true, you know, so true.
I'm trying to figure out, well, I'll bring it up. I'll phrase it like this. Maybe because I'll preface it like this. Maybe because maybe because I grew up in church and I've been in ministry for so long, and I'm aware of things, or I've seen things before. It's interesting to me how when a preacher, and Pastor Darius, you brought this up a little bit, when a preacher is preaching, folk getting saved, people getting healed, ministries growing, and then they're anointed while they're doing all that. Then all of a sudden the scandal comes out and they're no longer anointed. But wait a minute real quick. If they were doing the dirt, and I'm not justifying here. I am not justifying wrongdoing. Please don't leave. I'm just showing us about the power of the God's Spirit to help even flawed people. But when I look at them, I'm able to separate and say, you know what? They did wrong over here, but God can still use them to give me a message. Sometimes I think the saints make a mistake and completely discard somebody's work because of their person. Now watch this. That same ministry, that same ministry got you delivered, got you healed, changed your whole entire life. Then all of a sudden, the whole thing wasn't real.
Yes.
And that people say, I'm leaving the church because this whole thing must not have been real. That means your transformation wasn't real. But if you were really transformed, if you really got healed, again, I'm not justifying. All I'm saying is that if they were anointed while they were doing the dirt in private and God was using them to do great things, come on, Samson.
Come on, everybody in the Bible.
Right. Come on, everybody in the Bible. Why do we discard them being anointed once we discover what they've been doing for years? Now, again, it's just my perspective because I've been in ministry for a long time, and I'm aware of stuff. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I think what you're hitting on is a very important topic that, again, the church is great. I love the church. I think we have a hard time talking about things that are real, that do sometimes cause a stain. And instead of talking about the stain, instead of being Jesus and getting down with the woman in the dirt that's caught in the middle of adultery, where's the man? We don't want to talk about that part. But he gets down in the dirt with her, tells her sin no more, but he still gets down with her. I think we're good at saying sin no more, but we don't get down in the dirt with people. And so I think that's what you're talking about. And I did another interview today for the channel with Dr. Nijay Gupta, who's a New Testament scholar. And we were talking about faith and doubt, which kind of goes with this, but he was talking about how um, a lot of times, now listen, like you said, there's things that are sin that need to be dealt with, and those are nothing to blink an eye at, but at the same time, there are what we were talking about is this doubt where it's not necessarily simple doubt, it's just a part of who you are. It's humanity. And one thing that he said opened my eyes, and I'll hopefully bring this all together, was this is he likes to ask this question to his students. He said, if Jesus was walking the earth today and he was in this classroom, would he need an eraser? Because a lot of times we think Jesus was not having to deal with anything human because he was fully God.
Yep.
But Jesus had to grow up. I mean, he didn't just come out of the womb, a 33-year-old man.
Yep.
He grew up, his mama had to change his diapers. I'm sure he fell down and bruised his knee. So, and that doesn't take away from the fullness of who Jesus was as God. But he said it like this: Jesus had a human brain as well. So it had to grow.
Yep.
That doesn't mean Jesus never sinned. Jesus is perfect. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is what Jody said, is that we have people in our lives that are not Jesus. So they are going, when they make a mistake, it may lead to sin and they may fall. Our job is not to idolize anybody, even though we can look up to people. We can be shaped by people, but nobody is Jesus. Nobody is perfect. Jesus walked perfect. None of us will ever be perfect. That's the difference between Jesus's humanity and our humanity.
Right. Desiree, you about to jump in. You was gonna say something? You sure? Okay. But that's a good thought. I mean, to bring up the fact that, again, we're not justifying things. We're just saying that there's a reality of God using flawed people to do great things. And like Pastor Mario said, we're able to call people to account while them to go through a transformation, because as quiet as it's kept, y'all, those who aren't preachers, we're growing with y'all. As y'all are growing, we're growing. The same word we're preaching y'all is changing us.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually when I preach, I like to say, we're growing together, because that's the reality of the circumstances. I'm learning it, teaching it to you so you can learn it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also learning at the same time. So there's growth in all of us during this process.
Yeah.
And I think we oftentimes forget that. But I think part of that goes back to what we said before. The old stoic view of leadership was, I've always had it together. So the image was created. And then you have people on the other side who, no matter what, because they want to see their leader as beyond reproach, and they should be beyond reproach, beyond, certain flaws or certain mistakes.
Beyond that humanity.
They're beyond humanity. Thank you. Beyond that humanity. When the reality is that there has to be an understanding on both sides.
Yeah. As
a leader, we show that we are human without sharing too much, because we got to be an example. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, from the congregation standpoint, the understanding of the growth of that leader also. There are some things I believe 15 years ago I don't believe now.
Amen.
It's growth.
Yeah.
Some flaws I thought God was going to take away. Guess what? They're still here, and He's probably not going to take them away. I got to learn to manage it. I wish He would, but it ain't going nowhere. I'm like, that's Paul praying, take this thing. He's like, no, deal with it. But that's the reality of the situation. Is the beauty is in the struggle, and all of us are growing together. And here's the thing, y'all. The thing the congregation has that leaders don't have is leaders grow in public. Congregants, you don't get to grow in front of everybody.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. I'm just kind of throwing it out there, not justifying, just saying it's different when you're growing in front of people versus you're able to grow and kind of hide in the crowd. That makes sense?
Absolutely. No, go ahead. I think that when you think of, when the Bible says that He will prune us, right? If we're perfect, if there's nothing to prune, why does He say He's going to prune us?
Yeah.
And I think I want to put everybody at ease. Not everything that needs to be pruned is a sin in your life.
Yep.
or it's going to send you to hell. But because we are human and we're not perfect, we're on our way to perfection. There's going to be things that are going to be pruned that is like Pastor Nick said, it may take 30 years of your life. And then finally he gets that last little root out of you.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily something that you're going to be, needing to repent for daily, but it may be, something that because, you grew up with a single, mother in a situation that didn't teach you everything you needed because the opposite sex wasn't there or vice versa, that there are some, deficits in your being human that are just going to take time in order to be filled. But there's some times where, you go and hear a word from Pastor Nick or Bishop Evans or Bishop Sharona, and in an instant, everything is good. Or you're reading your Bible and the Spirit speaks to you, and, that pruning happens like that. So I think what you're saying, Pastor Nick, and I could be wrong, is that you got to give yourself permission to be human.
Yeah.
And then leaders have to make sure that even though they're being human, they're not being human to a point where it's going to cause other people
Yeah.
to go down a road that is not godly.
Yep.
And that's what I'm afraid of with some leaders this day and age.
Yeah. When they say when keeping it real goes wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a thought. I think part of the hypocrisy of millennials of our generation is this, like, oh, I'm growing and I'm becoming this better person, but also we have this other side of cancel culture where it's like as soon as somebody messes up, we're like, we're not taking any more of this. It's been happening too, like, and it's like, wait a minute, I thought we were all growing and becoming better people and all this other stuff. It's like we pick and choose when we want to cancel somebody, but we won't cancel ourselves.
Yeah. I think we don't practice the grace that we want to receive. That's the problem.
Yep.
We don't practice it, and that's one of the things I don't like about our generation is that we're so quick to just cut people off without fully understanding what led to it. There's a difference when, okay, it happened once. The second time, okay, maybe we need to figure out what's going on with this person, because if you're doing it again, that means it's just a habit. Versus they do it once, they do it twice. Okay, I'm done with them. Kick them out. They're done. So like that whole grace, understanding, giving people grace, having the conversation, wanting to get the insight so that you can grow. Because at the end of the day, we all have, as Pastor Nick said, we all have a thorn. We all have that thing that we battle with daily. And some of us may have two. Who knows? But at the same time, extend the grace that you want to get. And then the last thing, because y'all were talking about something, idolizing. We gotta stop idolizing people as in our generation. The only one we should be looking unto is Jesus. And then we have examples as leaders to also follow, but not take them as this is it. Like, because we continue to idolize people, like we're knocking Jesus out the way. Like we're not giving him that opportunity to shine and be who he wants to be for us. And then that's how church hurt and all the other stuff is happening. My leader did this. But why weren't you going to God about it first? That kind of thing. So, yeah.
And I also think it's an identity issue, too. If you idolize the next person, you don't even know you don't even know your calling. You don't even know who you are as a person. So when you idolize the next person, what they're doing, you want to dress like them, talk like them, do this, that, and the third. It's just like, bruh.
Exactly.
It's not an identity. Come on now.
Go sit down with yourself and figure it out.
Yeah, we can. I mean, if we really, if we read the Bible, we can see how Jesus really modeled it with his life and with the disciples. And the disciples were Bible school rejects who couldn't fish, but Jesus still chose them anyway. And then you had bipolar Peter, who was up one day, down one day, but he was one of the closest ones to Jesus. And we were seeing that whole process of how Jesus extended grace to them, and he allowed for them to grow. And then you keep on going all the way down to the Last Supper, and Peter's like, I got you, I ain't going nowhere. And Jesus like, bro, you gonna deny me? And then Peter cussing the folk out, talking about, he didn't know who Jesus was, and like we can look at the whole process, even as the disciples were sent out. Afterward, we're seeing just their growth process and their journey to become more like Christ. And if we really push people back to the Word and not the celebrity culture, Bishop Sharona, he harps on it all the time. We're just really deconstructing I'm going to look at this leader more than like we're saying, we have to push people back to Jesus. And really, if we teach them how to read the Bible and we teach them how to connect with the Word and be able to see how many flawed people, like you said, like Samson was a hot mess, like David was born out of sin. We can just look at through the entire Bible of how God's grace allowed people to grow, to become more like him, and not to become like a personality. And I think that will help to kind of level out people's expectations as well, because we're the church expectation. Well, there's this cultural, the church is supposed to be this quote unquote whatever perspective it is. And if our culture, today's generation we will really push people back to look at the life of Jesus. Let's really look at his journey. Let's look at his story and how our lives can come along with that. That can begin to adjust some cultural expectations where people can be able to see, okay, this really is like a journey. To put all this pressure on trying to be something, or be like, or being perfect, or trying to be holy. But if we just flip the pages, both sides of the Bible, both pages, we really read it, just to see the journey that Jesus really set before us.
I want to bring in that.
I love it.
Yeah, right. And now that you brought that up, before I went ahead on this one topic to close us out, I want to just throw this out there. I often wonder, we love reading the Psalms. David wrote a lot of them. He didn't write all of them. He wrote a lot of them. We love reading about his story. My question is, if David lived today, doing the stuff that he did and wrote the stuff that he did, would the culture respond to him the same way we respond to him reading his writings in Scripture? I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I'd say probably not. I mean, humans haven't changed that much. Let's start there.
Right. Yep.
So probably even in his day, I mean, obviously there wasn't social media, so there probably wasn't as many people knew what David was doing, but the culture was doing it.
Right.
Right. So, God, you're gonna get me in trouble.
No, I'm not saying you got to answer right or wrong. I'm just throwing it out there.
This is where I'm going. I was talking with somebody one day, and I think let me start on the good side. We can look in the Bible and find what it takes to have good relationships, whether that's friendships, whether that's co-workers, whether that's in our marriage. But if you are trying to look for an example of a good marriage in the Bible, you're not going to find it.
Nope.
That's why we look at Jesus and the way Jesus is to the church.
Right.
Because only Jesus gives us the models for anything that is good, because we broke it.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think people, we would absolutely cancel David now. Not even. Yeah. We do it to people already.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he deserved. I'm not saying people's actions don't deserve a consequence. I'm not saying that at all.
Yep.
All I'm saying is that knowing what we know about David, we still read those Psalms though. And still say God used him to write those, and God gave him a promise and did the whole Davidic covenant through Jesus coming through and all that. I'm just asking the question. That's all. Again, I'm not saying things are right. I just wonder sometimes.
I don't know. I think part of the culture might, just because they like, people like drama in the back and forth of it all. The Kevin.
I'm talking about reading. I'm talking about reading the good stuff, not the behind the scenes drama like Bathsheba. If they had, like,
Oh,
yeah.
you're
I'm
talking about
talking about the good stuff, like the Psalms that he wrote, and all those things.
No,
What
no,
you know?
yeah. I don't know. They might. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, again, just look at what is going on with the whole, Ravi Zacharias scandal.
Yep.
I think that's a good modern day version of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean I need to, like you said earlier, should I get rid of all of Ravi's books that I have on my shelf? Like, there's gold in that. Like, does that, discard all that while we see this other side? And it's like, wow, like that is a lot of bad stuff and horrible things that should never happen, especially from somebody in the faith.
Yep.
So it's like, I think that's obviously it's not the Bible, but it's like somebody that millions of people looked up to. It's like, what do we do now?
Yeah. All I'm saying is that things are a little more complex than we make them out to be. When it's somebody we don't like, it's black or white. When it's somebody we love, it's nuanced. That's all I'm trying to say. And we're selective with what we're nuanced about, and selective what we have a hard line on. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not justifying. You can pick and choose whichever you want to do with your life, what you want to listen to, who you want to read. I'm just simply asking questions. That's all. Kevin, you got something? Because I'm just saying, I've seen people condemn somebody for something. Somebody in their family they love does the same thing and will demand mercy for that person, but complete judgment for that other person. And okay, let's move on. So, because what I really wanted to get to, it's like almost 8:00, and maybe we can, if you guys are open, maybe we can do like a part 2 next month or something like that, if the schedules work out. Which is, I think, how can I say this? The church at large. I don't want to speak specifics because not every church does this. I believe some of the criticisms that the church at large gets deserves it. I really do. I think the way we speak to certain communities haven't been good. They haven't been Christ-like. I think that we can believe what we believe, but express it in a better way. I'll be real here. For some reason, I'm not sure why the saints love sending folk to hell when God did everything he could to get folk, to be with him at the end of this thing. And I think going forward with this generation that's growing up in a more inclusive society, in a more open society, in a more accepting society, it's not that we change what we believe. I believe we have to change how we present things. For some reason, we present this Old Testament God of judgment and wrath and think that that's the God of the Old Testament, when in reality, when you read the Old Testament, there's so much mercy, grace, and love in there. I don't know where they got this thing where God was all judgment in the Old Testament and all of a sudden became loving and new after Jesus. It's foolishness. But I think we can stick to what we believe, but speak to every audience and change the way we address people and how we present the scriptures. I was going to give some examples, but I'll stop there. I don't want to jump into too much, but anybody want to jump in on that one?
No, I would just say that is so true. I feel like that's why you have so many, since it is Fresh Friday, you have so many millennials that don't have a church home because they feel like they're judged. They feel like they don't have a home there, right? And I was just thinking about the people that you go to church with. Look how we treat each other in the church. So how do you think we're going to treat each other outside of the church, right? So everything you're saying, Pastor Nick, is so true. It's so true. I have nothing. None.
I'm just speaking of languaging. I told a story on Point where one guy came and gave his life to the Lord. He was gay. I didn't know it when he first came up. He talked about he can't get saved. He said, I can't, God's not going to accept me. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm searching the scriptures. Like, he said, whosoever will. And he said, no, God won't accept me because he came from a household that said that all gay people go to hell. And he thought that this God that was being presented to him had wanted nothing to do with him. That had to kind of show him the flip side of it. You know, I think our languaging in the way we say things, almost like what Pastor Mario said, we're quick to say, go and sin no more, but not willing to go down with people in the dirt. And I'll stop there. Y'all go ahead. I'll start ranting. Good.
I think that this is a love issue. If we really allow the love of Christ to embody us and to transform us, then how we speak to people and how we're presenting something is you want to bring it from a place of love and a place of I want to see you the way that Jesus sees you. So therefore, I want to communicate the way that Jesus would have communicated to you, and that is going to be from a place of His love. And so, of course, we don't divert from the truth, but there is, I think that we see that Jesus he went to what's the midget in the Bible? I just forgot his name.
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
He went to the
Languaging.
he went to that dinner with
Zacchaeus, man.
Zacchaeus. And so, we see where Jesus, like, he was willing to get in the trenches with people and actually do life with them, with their dirtiness, with their flaws. And that could be, I believe that is a reason that a lot of millennials, the next Gen Z, may be hesitant with church or Christianity or relationship with God, is from that they want to be able to sense, are you going to love me through my junk? Are you going to love me through my mess? And knowing that it may, and even accepting that their transformation process may take a little bit longer than what we would prefer. And just giving them that love and that language to be able to, it's a sense like, hey, I love you for who you are. So let's go on this journey.
Desiree, you guys, that's good.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that's why, like, the first conversation of having an open pastor is so important, because you want someone who, like you said, goes in the trenches with you, but also someone who may have been there, because a lot of people like to hide their experiences and hide what they've been through. And if someone has, if they've dealt with homosexuality in the past, or they've dealt with drug addiction, or if they dealt with, these different types of things. And like you mentioned earlier, like, there's a way to be open but telling too much. I think when it comes to that, like, sometimes you need to hear that gutter story to pull you out of it. Sometimes you need to hear, like, oh, I've been through this, I've been in this, so that they can, help work through that situation with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest way that we can continue to pull people in our generation. I made on our recap panel, I mentioned how people were getting saved through the prayers that DMX were doing, and we didn't need, what I mean? So it's like, that's not something that would pull that wouldn't pull me in. That wouldn't save my soul. I wouldn't listen to DMX and think like, oh, Jesus. But for somebody else, that's exactly what they needed. So I think that we have to be more open in allowing people to get what, like you mentioned, Pastor Nick, whosoever will. The Bible says whosoever will. Whosoever can too. Like whosoever will be saved, but whosoever can help them get saved as well. Who's going to who's going to be that person that's going to help pull them into Christ? Who's going to be that accountability person? Who's going to say, oh, I used to be on the street as well? Who's like, that's going to help them move into that. And I think that's where we need to be a little more fluid and open with people, and not be so covered and shy about what we've been through,
Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say something real quick. I think what everybody is saying is so important because this is the way it's hitting me is language is a verb. Like it is everything. Like we as human beings, it's the thing that separates us from other animals, right? Other primates, other mammals, is that our language and our way of thinking. And when y'all were talking, it hit me clear as a bell. Like when we look in our Bible, how do we see God creating?
Yeah, language.
Like language, like
Yeah.
God in everything. That's why it irks me when I understand this statement and people say preach the gospel and sometimes use words, and I'm like, I understand it, but no, you have to use words.
Words.
Like that's the whole point. And I think what you're all saying is that language is creative. Like that is what it does. And today we just are able to express that in so many different ways and so quick and connect it on a global level, like literally, that it is so important how we language as Christians
Yeah.
to show the love, to show the inclusion, not necessarily meaning we have to agree, but it is, I hear you, I see you, let me walk with you and talk to you about this the way that I see it as well. So I agree 1,000% with
I,
everybody.
I think that's the Jesus model in John chapter 4. And I believe, now, this is just something I'm learning more and more as time goes on. The Protestant view of John chapter 4, when Jesus talks to the woman at the well, is that she's this loose woman, he's correcting her. That's usually the interpretation
Yeah.
of it, right?
Mhm.
But that's not the languaging that Jesus is using at all.
It's wrong.
We don't look at the context of the woman. She had no rights during the time, right?
Right.
No, not formally educated. I'm correct, right?
Yep. Yep.
No education. He wasn't correcting her for being this loose woman, like she was going from man to man to man to man. In that time, women didn't have rights like that.
Right.
He was working through some of the things with her. We interpret that like Jesus was trying to get this loose woman to get her fixed. Like that's not what he was doing.
Right. That's like
But
if she had no reputation, if she had no influence, how did she get the whole town saved?
Thank you.
Talk about languaging.
Yeah, languaging. So in the language he uses appeals to her, and then she uses that same language, and all of a sudden, like you said, the whole town comes and says, "Yo, there's this man here," and plug. I heard I think Bishop Sharona said at one time that Jesus was the seventh man, I believe, or the sixth man, one of the sixth man, right? Seventh man, yeah.
Right.
That she went through the five men. He says the one you have is not your own. And when she came in contact with the seventh one, boom, her life was changed.
Preach.
That was nice when he said that. I said that was because that's one of my favorite stories. But a lot of Protestant churches, we bring our bias to the text and let our bias influence our interpretation,
Right.
rather than studying the times where Jesus wasn't in correcting this loose woman. He was actually bringing a sense of healing and wholeness to her and elevation to her life based on the context that she was in. And he didn't lay hands on her. She didn't fall out. It was the language. It was the conversation that got the turn around. All right, I'm done. I'm not trying to preach on it.
That's good. That's good.
But language is important, and we got to study that in scripture. All right, Maya, put the last one up so we can get out of here. Let's have some more fun, then we'll go. Which potion would you drink? Stay young forever? Breathe in the sea, which sounds pretty cool. I like to swim, so go in the water and do the reef thing. Become invisible anytime. I would love that, especially those that got kids. You understand that? Become invisible anytime. Look, $1 billion in cash, time travel anytime, stay young forever, breathe in the sea, which actually sounds pretty cool when you think about it. Become invisible anytime, which sounds very appealing. I have to emphasize that $1 billion in cash, but a time travel anytime. Honestly, I'm stuck between the $1 billion and the time travel. Because if I can time travel, I will know some investments, I'll know some stuff, and I can make more than $1 billion.
Come on.
And I get to see stuff in the past
Right.
too. I love history. I'm a
Yeah.
historian, so I go back and see a whole bunch of stuff that I've read about. But I'll let y'all go. I'm still processing those two. But that become invisible, that does, you don't want to talk to nobody. You just kind of just go away.
Just
That
disappear.
Yeah, that sounds very appealing. But go ahead.
Staycation all the time.
Right. We'll have some fun for
I think I'll do time. I probably would. It would be either invisible or time travel. I like time travel too. I'm a sci-fi guy, so.
Back to the Future. I'll be back all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say purple. Because at first I was with the green, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to be young forever.
Being young is overrated,
Yeah, I don't want to be young forever. I'm cool. But going back and forth in time and getting facts and seeing how we were taught properly and how we were taught wrong and all that other stuff and getting all the facts straight. Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Kevin.
All right, so I'm stuck in between becoming invisible anytime because sometimes I just don't want to be seen by people.
Hey, but if you time travel, you can just leave.
You're right.
True.
There you go.
I'm the type that, what happened in the past stays in the past. I don't want to see what happened in the future because I don't want to affect my present. So I'm good with the time travel. So you can either give me the cash or I can I'm stuck in between those two. Y'all not feeling it?
You gotta pick one, bro.
You gotta pick one.
Give me the red potion.
I figured as much.
Take that money.
Give me the money.
Give me the red potion.
Hey, I'm a time travel, so I can go back and invest in Apple and
Who you telling?
Microsoft, and
Google.
Bitcoin,
Yes,
and
sir.
crypto,
Yeah.
and all that.
I'll bring my money. You bring your investment in.
Boom.
There it is.
Let's do it. We can buy some islands.
I like it.
Maya, go ahead.
I would pick time travel also just because I think it would be cool to go back and meet your ancestors and to learn from them. So that's primarily why I would pick the purple one.
That's Darius.
I would say time travel because since we have smartphones, I will go back in time to be able to go and record some of the stuff that people say is made up. And then bring it back and like, oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Jesus was real.
Right.
Look at that Red Sea. Look at it.
Darius. Somebody said that
You taking selfies with Jesus?
Somebody said you were going to breathe underwater, breathe under the sea.
See, I don't like mermaids and sharks and jaws. Because you can breathe under the sea, I mean you can swim away faster from them. No, they professionals underwater.
See, that's the one I would pick. I would pick breathing in the sea.
You know what, Desiree? That makes a whole lot of sense.
It does.
That makes a whole lot of
A
sense.
whole lot of sense.
Very earthy into creation. The whole Erykah
I would
Badu
want
thing.
to see what's
Yeah.
down there. Everybody's worried about what's up in the sky. What sounds serious?
Well, go ahead,
Monsters.
Mermaid.
Let me know how it
Yeah.
goes.
There's some real freaky looking animals down
Monsters.
deep in the sea. Just
He said monsters.
But that's the thing, we don't know,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good.
cool.
They
I'd
know
rather
a
not know.
little they know monsters.
Yeah, I'm good. You can take that, Mike. Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick time travel because I'm thinking of this episode of Lovecraft Country where Hippolyta was able to become different things, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like she was a Amazon warrior. She was like all these different things throughout time. So I would love to have that type of
Just
experience.
ruined my show. Appreciate that.
Oh, I am so sorry.
You didn't watch it yet?
Alert.
Well, it doesn't hinge on
Yeah.
the whole. It's fine.
Well, listen, you're taking
Morning.
the potion to go back in time, so just go back in time and watch. It's all good. Okay.
Now let's put it this way too. Let's make it a little interesting. Most people pick time travel. What if you could time travel into, instead of you like your physical body going back to like when you were 10? What if you could time travel and put your essence into your body at that time?
Nope.
To experience that moment as a 10-year-old. Would you like I'm thinking about this one summer in South Carolina I had.
Yeah,
that was
talk to
so
us
much
because there's
fun.
something specific you
This
think about.
is one of my
You're
favorite.
freaking me out right now.
No, we used to go down to South Carolina every summer. So, I remember we were going into like Orangeburg and stuff like that and being with my grandparents.
That's my neck of the woods.
Yeah. My grandparents are from Bowman, Orangeburg area. And I still got family down there. But that was a great summer, man. We had fun. And part of me would love to recap. If I could still time.
I got you.
I would do that and experience that moment again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you go into your body, you're very well aware of everything. And you get to experience that moment again. You're just in a 10 or 12
10-year-old body.
Yeah, or a 6-year-old body or however old you are.
That makes more sense.
Like your grown mind is in that 10-year-old body?
Yes. And you're reliving and experiencing.
I'll be crying, man.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know, dog.
I don't know.
Part of what makes the memory is that you were young.
Yeah, I don't know
Is
that I
that
want my grown mind.
You're grown.
Yeah.
Right, you look at something and be like, you're so stupid. Why did you
No,
go do
because
it?
I
You
would
know,
be
like,
looking at
something
family
very
members like, this is why y'all don't work out. You know, like I can't enjoy the moment. You're like, see, in like 3 years, this ain't gonna even be a thing. Like I just
ain't gonna be with Uncle no more. I see why.
Right, you about to get the whooping of your life in like 2 weeks. You know, like I would just I don't know.
I would try it. I would literally try it. Go back to when I was like,
oh man,
at a certain age, not all the time, but put myself in my body, and I knew I was very well aware of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would be game for it.
I'd be no good, man.
You are now,
huh?
Like when you can't, like, do you think that would alter when you came back because the time travel?
But see, that's the question. We're time travel, Back to the Future. If you go back, well, no. Actually, Avengers tried to. I still don't understand Avengers time travel Endgame thing. Somebody smarter than me can explain.
I got you. I'll explain it later.
So it basically creates an alternate reality, right? And they said Back to the Future was not real. So imagine every time you go back in time, you're creating this alternate reality. Now you have this big MCU alternate universe where it's three of you in three different worlds.
Yeah.
See, technically, if you could breathe under the water, right? Just saying, listen, hear me out. If you could breathe under the water, you can kind of time travel because you're looking at like ships and things that have been,
That's a history lesson. That's like going to a museum underwater.
You said you're a historian, sir.
Yes, but I'm talking about actually going to the moment, not like looking at an old ship.
Listen, Ariel, we're not going under. We can't do that. No, we're either going to go to time or we're going to use the money. Okay. Des, you can go look.
You have to be present, be in the moment, and money doesn't last. You get $1 billion, it won't last.
Listen, I will flip it.
You won't know what to do with it.
I will do
$1 billion to figure that it'll last.
Right.
It'll work.
It's going to last me. It's going to last.
Yeah, like I said, for time travel, I can go back and invest in Apple, Google, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Oh, please, I'll be worth more than $1 billion.
Pampers,
McDonald's, I don't eat them.
Whoa, I felt like you came in my box here, sir.
I would enjoy that. So you pick time travel, right? Yeah, you go back and see some weird stuff.
Oh, y'all the Avengers. Y'all just going back in time.
It would be fun.
That'd be cool.
But see, I'm a nerd. Honestly, this is gonna sound real weird. Don't judge me too much. One of my favorite historical moments was when Abraham Lincoln got shot. Not because he got shot, but because the whole scenario around his assassination. I would love to have been around. Well, I'm a black man in Washington, D.C. They might catch me as a...
Yeah.
That's why you don't...
I would be okay with seeing it, but then I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, but slavery was over. But
you're going to have to take some assets and put it in a white man at that time.
Right.
You can experience that moment.
The whole moment, yeah.
Right. You gotta change. You gotta disguise yourself. You gotta be invisible and then time travel.
Right.
Because you end up next to Rosa and be like,
there you go.
Mix emotions.
There you go.
We need to get some of the bleaching cream. And that's it. Then go back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, you gotta mix the potions before you going on back. All right, because you don't want to.
Nah, my lips and nose will tell me. They be like, "No, you black." Something will be different.
That's why it does the same go under the sea.
Just saying, if we have
Making
to
more sense
choose,
now, Desiree. It's making more
I'm
sense.
just, you know, you got to think about each
Yeah,
one.
she's going to be one with creation and one with the animals that God made.
You
She's
know,
our earthy one, y'all. She's full
Hey,
Erica Badu, Andre
you
3000.
can.
what is this hand motion that you're doing, sir? Like,
Sure.
what is that? Why are you doing so much?
You can get into astrology though, because when you look at stars, you are actually seeing the past and present.
You know,
See?
Miss Dr. Hood, we here.
So,
I like that. Dr. Hood, I like that. I like that.
No, Kevin, mute yourself. You picked the money.
And I'm going to run.
Yo, Kevin will get his money. We ain't never going to see him again for the rest of his life. All right, y'all.
I'll be turning into an island.
All right, y'all. I got to go. I got to do my homework. Oh, Jesus. Y'all pray for me, please. I can't wait till this thing is over.
you got it, man. You can do it.
Of course. All right, y'all. Eric, Bethany, all y'all good stuff. Thank you, Pastor Mario, Dr. Mario, Pastor Darius. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah,
we appreciate y'all for coming on. We'll be back with Fr3sh Friday again next Friday. No, next Friday.
Next month.
Next month. Second. I just got real sleepy. It hit me literally. It just hit me.
I feel you.
That's a geriatric millennial.
Right, and then I'll go home and won't be able to go to sleep like normal. All right, y'all. See y'all later. Bye.